Mr.
Mngomezulu, yeah.
On behalf of accused number 1.
Okay, Mr. Mngomezulu.
I see that Advocate Mshololo is not here.
Where is she?
As it is the court, my lord. She requested that I should convey the message to the court that there was an agent commitment that she needed to attend to.
There was an agent?
There's an agent commitment that she needed to go attend to, and they requested me to stand in for her.
So you're standing in her stead? You are standing in her stand?
Yes. Yes, my lord.
You're substituting her?
No, I'm not substituting her, my lord. I am representing her in absentia. In her absentia.
Okay, fine.
As it is the court.
English language, eh? Standing in her stead. You've never heard of it?
No, my lord.
Okay.
We learn everything.
Stick around. You'll learn that.
As it is the court.
Thank you. I see Mr. Sibanda is amused.
Listen, I was so nervous, okay? If you think Mnisi was nervous, I don't know what the conversation went like between Mnisi and Mshololo, and Mshololo said, you gotta do this for me, okay? I will not be there, okay? Mnisi stood up and just was like, man, doesn't matter how I say this judge is going to lose his mind, but I still have to say it. And you know what? I love the way Mnisi did it, and he did it that the way it should be done, okay? No details shared publicly. We don't even know what's up with Mshololo, okay? But I love that he kept her dignity. He told the judge she's not coming, okay? All you need to know is I'm standing in for her, and let's keep going today. And how did Judge Rata react? Even I paused breathing, okay? I was like, oh man, there goes the cross-examination. It's not going to happen today. This man is going to be very, very, very angry. But guess what? He held himself together. He held himself together, and I'm proud of you, Judge Rata. I am proud of the improvement we're seeing. We're seeing you come back to professionalism. We're seeing you coming out of the tavern lifestyle and the tavern decorum. We're seeing you accept that it is human to suddenly have an emergency and not show up to work. And for that, we thank you. But what happens next? I don't know why Holst didn't say he was no longer available. I don't know why he didn't take his early retirement. I don't know why he didn't follow in Stein's lead. Because what happens next is Mngomezulu continues from yesterday. Remember yesterday, Holst was a very confident man at the beginning of the day. As Mngomezulu said, you were very confident and adamant to testify on these records. Woo! He was not confident, okay? If you listen, he sounds like he really, really, really wants to turn the mic off, okay? But that's the intro today. If you already know, please go ahead and like the video right here, right now. Thank you so much for the over 1,000 likes in my previous videos. Thank you. I really, really appreciate it. So please, let's continue the work and let's get back to Mngomezulu. Make sure you have a drink or two because it's going to be a long video, but every minute is worth your time. Let's go, Mngomezulu.
Yes, Mr. Mngomezulu.
Thank you, madam. Morning, Mr. Host. So, yesterday we ended I ended my cross-examination on the cell phone device that was last recorded at 4 Sloras, 4 minutes past 5, and on the 27th or on the 27th of October, if not the 29th of October, that cell phone was for the first time after the 26th of October, re-registered on the towers of 4 Sloras Is that correct? The question that I want to pose now is, this cell phone, if it was not in Vosloorus on the day SENZO MEYIWA was killed, and this cell phone is associated with accused number 3, or is registered in the name of accused number 3, who else do you think might have been in possession of that phone without accused number 3?
As a court case, my lord, we object to that question. We submit that the witness is being asked to speculate. The speculation will be of no assistance to the court. In any case, that is not something that falls within his knowledge. We submit that it's an unfair question.
Yes, Mr. Mngomezulu.
My lord, I submit with due respect that I asked this question with the full knowledge that this cell phone was registered in the name of accused number 3.
But your question, oh well.
May I rephrase it, madam?
Okay, fine. All right.
May I rephrase it with due respect? Mr. Host, let me take you back again on your explanation in chief. You confirmed that this number belongs to accused number 3, correct?
That's according to my knowledge, yes.
And according to your evidence, this cell phone, you said it communicated with accused number 5, correct?
That's correct, my lord.
And if we are talking about accused number 3, we are talking about Mr. Mngomezulu. Do you agree?
That's correct.
Do you know him here in court? Do you see him here in court?
1, 2, 3. Must be the one in the middle. I don't know. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. That's correct.
And accused number 5 is the last one on the row.
That's correct.
We talk about the people that we can see, correct? And with your evidence saying accused number 3 and number 5, when you were taken by the prosecution or by my colleague in respect of the 3 transactions that registered on the 26th of October, you mentioned only 3 transactions on the 26th of October. Can you recall that?
That's correct.
And you are the analyst of this data, correct?
That's correct.
What actually made you? Because I believe when you did this analysis, you went through all the recordings or the transactions in the 205, correct? You started from page 1 up to the last page, correct?
Just one thing. Are we looking at number 27727668169?
That's correct, yes.
I never said only 3 entries. That was for accused 2 that we were talking about yesterday, my lord. That three calls were for accused 2. I never said how many entries were made on the 26th for accused 5.
No, I'll correct Mr. Post. I don't like the court to agree with you if we haven't agreed on that. I'll take you on the records. I've even highlighted about the communication between accused number 3 and number 5 on the 26th of October 2014.
My lord, according to my records, there was only 1 call on the 26th of October. All the other calls were previous, after. That's what when I started in evidence, or when I started with this statement, there's all the calls that was made. It's on my statement, my lord.
I just misplaced my where I actually wrote those. You even specify about times of their communication. There were 3.
That was for accused 2 when I was crossed by, or I was in chief with Advocate Baloy. That was accused for, I think it was 1739. There was 3 calls made after he was arrested. That's the 3 calls that we're talking about. I never said that this,
Okay.
on this page.
No, it's fine. I'll just stand it down. I'll come back to it. But the purpose for asking this question is not primarily what I'm asking you. Let's proceed. My question is, when you were given this document, GG, Exhibit GG, to analyze,
Yes,
you had to go through all of it.
that's correct, Malak.
What made you? I know you were led by my colleague Mr. Baloyi, but your evidence related mainly to the communication between accused number 3 and number 5, correct?
No, my lord. My evidence, if I can read my statement, I was asked by the investigation officer, Brigadier Ganinga, to see if there's any communication. Let me just get my exhibit DD5C, paragraph 6. The intention and scope of this analysis and the request from the investigation officer was to determine the following. If there were any communication between 277-668-169 and other accused in this matter before this court. And the only numbers I picked up was that of accused number 5. No other numbers were communicating with that number during that period of the section 205. Only accused number 5.
My question is that the number 072-766-8169, it appeared from the first page of the data that we're analyzing.
That's
correct?
That's correct, my lord.
To know the reasons, if not a reason, why the records of the number 072-766-8169 were not placed on record in your examination in chief, starting from page 10, proceeding to page 13. Do you know?
Don't understand.
I don't think that's something that this witness can answer. In any case, we did explain that we received the data at a rather late stage, my lord.
So basically, Host knows exactly what's going on here. You see, when Mngomezulu does this move, where he moves his arm in an upward direction, he's preparing to launch his missile. And Host already knows, he's reading the signals and he's just going. He knows that Mngomezulu is leading him, okay, to answer the basic questions that are just yes or no answers. And most of the time, Host has to say yes. And he knows he knows he has to say yes. He can't run away from saying yes. But he knows this is going to sink him very soon. But he doesn't know when, why, and how. And finally, Mngomezulu gets to it and says, yeah, so you because earlier he asked him, so you did everything from page 1, right? He said, yes, I did. And now he says, can you tell me why you didn't put the records from page 10 to 13? Why did you skip those pages? And immediately Baloyi stands up and says, oh my God, we are discovered. We are caught. It is going down. Why did Baloyi object? Because that is a very fair question, and Mngomezulu led the witness really well and clearly, so it is not a trap. It's very clear and it's a fair question. Now, how Mngomezulu responds is what's going to surprise you and bring Judge Rata to try and make a ruling, but Mngomezulu stands his ground.
I disagree with the state. I'm going to demonstrate in my submission that the state deliberately omit a particular evidence. For example, my lord, when we're dealing with the AVL evidence of debris, the state omitted deliberately the incident that happened at Engine Garage. This evidence that was titled yesterday, beginning from page 10, 11, 12, and 13, the state realized that it was an own goal in their case. NesiZulu bathi bayikwaze ngowabo umkhondo. May I proceed, my lord?
As a court, please, I don't know what the basis of my colleague's submission is. The fact of the matter is he's representing accused number one, and he's straddling the lines by cross-examining on behalf of the
Number
other
two.
accused. If he can maybe just stick to his lane, that would assist.
So the concern of the defense, we have agreed with Mr. Mnisi. There are reasons why I have to deal with this evidence. Secondly, these 5 accused are charged with common purpose to commit an offense. Anything that is said, because my colleague forgets that there are only 2 confessions here. Confession for accused number 1 and for accused number 2. Anything that is in that confession that touches accused number 3, 4, and 5, I have a fiduciary duty to cross-examine this witness based on that doctrine of common
No, let's
purpose.
just understand that. You remember you talked about section 319, is it?
219.
Sorry, 219, to
Yes.
say the evidence which is adduced by a confession through either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Correct.
It's not applicable to 2, 3, 4, 5.
Correct.
Right, now you are saying you are cross-examining because of the common purpose doctrine.
Yes. That's what it's one of the charges.
Right, fine. And if what you are cross-examining on impinges in the confession, which attaches or which relates to the other accused who are not involved in that confession, you are saying I should allow you to cross-examine thereof. You are right, but the point is, if you do that,
Listen, the tough week for Baloyi just continued. Did Judge Rata just say Advocate Mngomezulu is right? Oof. After Baloyi objected, when Mngomezulu said the state deliberately omitted evidence of submitting pages 10, 11, 12, and 13. Why? Because they realized, hey, if we talk about what's on those pages, we will be shooting ourselves in the foot, okay? And Mngomezulu called it an on goal. And he went even deeper and said, NesiZulu bathi bayikwaze ngowabo umkhonto. And you know what? There's too many counter conversations in the air right now. It really touched a nerve with Advocate Baloyi, and he said, you know what, Mngomezulu, you need to stay in your own lane. As a matter of fact, why are you talking about accused number 3? Let me remind you, you represent accused number 1. So stick to accused number 1. Because why? Advocate Baloyi knows, oh my God, Mngomezulu can pick up on anything, and he's too smart, and he will just tangle this witness, and it will just mess up my whole storyline. So I have to get him to stay in his lane and talk only about accused number 1. By mentioning that, then it forces Mngomezulu not to talk about those missing pages because it's not relevant to accused number 1. Mngomezulu said, shut up, okay? Shut up. I spoke to Mnisi. Mnisi agrees I can talk about accused number 3 because what? They're charged all with common purpose. So I know the law. Okay? Don't see me as not being paid by legal aid and think I don't know the law. I know the law very well. In fact, I'm going to use that very same law to prove how deceptive you are and deliberate. So Rata realizes, oh my God, this is a battle of the giants. Mngomezulu has made several points that I don't want to go further on record. So let me interject him right now and let me caution him that, hey, dude, if you do this, you're risking this. You're risking the confession. And Mngomezulu is like, you said the confession is in, so I'm using it now. Okay, you said it was in, I'm using it now. And the client said accused number 3 and Kelly Khumalo. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, I have Kelly Khumalo's records. Like, Mngomezulu is a star student in the class, okay? In that courtroom, Mngomezulu is just firing, okay? Remember in my video yesterday, I said, I wish we had Longwe Twala's 205s. Mngomezulu just told us those all exist. All the peoples in the house, 205s exist. Baloy, how come you've never talked about these? Because those 205s are very relevant. And Mngomezulu says, and we're going to see in the next clip, he now introduces the Kelly Khumalo topic and how Kelly Khumalo is not the mastermind. So yeah, Guningi, I had to break that down for you. So let's continue on.
Then it's a reflection on your client. Are you
I'm aware of that.
Are you aware of it?
I'm aware, my lord.
Fine.
May I just clarify this, my lord, before I proceed?
Yeah, fine.
This witness relates to the communication between these 5 accused.
Yes, yes.
Where does that emanate from? It emanates from the contents of the confession. And in relation to the contents of the communication, I wish to remind the court that there's evidence that Kelly Khumalo communicated with accused number 3. That's the purpose of getting into number 3 for the confession that has been made by accused 1 and 2. That's the reason it deals with communication. So I want to prove to this witness that there was no communication between Kelly Khumalo and accused number 3 in anticipating in the commission of the said offenses, my lord. That's the relevance of it deals with communication.
All right.
Can't comment on that, my lord.
Yeah.
But on what is related to communication, I want you to show the court, because I've got the records here. Can you please take this number for me? Can you please take these 2 numbers for me? 082 082
Yes.
7044
Yes.
358.
Yes.
The second number 072
Yes.
938
Yes.
2498.
Yes.
Those are numbers for Kelly Khumalo. Those 2 numbers are for Kelly Khumalo. And I have an affidavit made by Kelly Khumalo to say those were the numbers that she was using on the day SENZO was killed. I'm just putting a background. So now, to draw your attention or to employ your skill as a data analyst, I'm putting to you that there was no communication between Kelly Khumalo and accused number 3. Looking at those numbers and on the event of the 26th of October, you will find no communication between accused number 3 and Kelly Khumalo. Unless you want me to give you an opportunity to go through that. Specifically on the 26th, because that was the day in which the state alleges that, according to the confession, Kelly Khumalo communicated with accused number 3.
A lot is 337 pages. It's not just a press of the button. So
We can suspend it, you can stand it down, you'll have an opportunity to go through those numbers, if the court so pleases. Can we proceed?
yes,
Or
we can
you-
proceed.
My lord, can I stand down that question for the witness to go through the 205s to check
Find
these
out if
2
there's
numbers?
communication between Kelly Khumalo and number 3.
Number 3, yes, my lord.
Is that okay? Colonel
Let me
House?
that's correct, my lord. Let me just check. I go quickly with
But as I recall the evidence, Kelly Khumalo had about what, 5 numbers or 6 numbers?
Sorry, my lord, to ask, I have no
No, I mean,
recollection.
that's the evidence. Sorry, Mr. Baloi, you recall how many numbers did Miss Kelly Khumalo have?
Yes, indeed, that is stated in the affidavit of Stein.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the number of the cell phones that she had.
Yeah, she had about 5 or 6.
Yes.
And further, my lord, it has been stated in that affidavit of Brigadier Kininda, A227, that Kelly Khumalo had 4 cell phones of cell phone numbers. But now, what is of importance, the logic and the reasons to have the section 205. May I just establish from the witness? Say, when you were approached by Brigadier Kininda, you said somewhere in September last year, 7 months ago, correct?
Wathi-ke uBrigadier Kininda wakuthinda uSeptember kulo nyaka odlule wathi yebo.
When he asked you to do the analysis on the basis that Mr. Stein is on retirement, did he tell you that there were section 205s that were taken from the people that were in the house where SENZO was killed? Did he tell you?
No, my lord, when I started with this case, I didn't do the cell phone and the 205. I was doing the downloading of the 2 cell phones of accused 2 and accused 5. Later, during the course of the trial, it was requested for the section 205s to be produced, that we have given to the council, and then I started with the section 205s on the accused. That's why that statement came in later. It was the additional statement, DD52 and DD53. So my original my original was just for the 2 cell phones that was downloaded to do analysis on that, not on the section 205. So it came later. So I don't know anything about any section 205. Other people that was in the house, I have no record about that.
So, I've just checked the exhibits relating to Colonel Stein, exhibit 01.
01.
Yes, it shows that Ms. Kelly Khumalo had 8 cell phones.
8 cell phones, yeah, that's the point. Miss Kelly Khumalo had 8 cell phones. Fine.
8 cell phones.
Yeah, so when you ask this witness about the communication regarding Kelly Khumalo, it must correlate with 8 cell phones.
I differ with the lordship.
According to the state,
I differ, my lord.
Khumalo had.
I differ with the court.
With the court?
Yes, I differ with what the court is saying, that I must correlate with 8 cell phones.
No, but look, it's common sense. If I have 8 cell phones.
My lord, section 205 does not require common sense.
What does it require?
It requires scrutiny on what was registered on the as a database.
Fine,
but now what may I submit?
Yeah, fine.
By saying this?
Yeah.
We'll keep on speculating about the number of cell phones.
It is a speculation. Wait, Mr. Mngomezulu. Mr. Baloi, is it speculation that Kelly Khumalo had 6 or whatever cell phones?
Well, that's according to the evidence and the affidavit of
Stein.
I've just quoted.
How many cell phones? Just let's recite those 8 cell phones numbers, if there are. Oh, my daughter.
Well, on page 3 of Colonel Stein's affidavit, exhibit 01,
yeah,
she stated the following. She says, the following extraction out of XDS to trace the following numbers of Kelly Khumalo, then she mentions them.
And he mentions how many numbers?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So that's not speculation, Mr.
That's the
Mngomezulu.
reason. My lord, may I just put it this way?
Yeah,
Maybe
fine.
the court will understand me.
Okay.
I wanted to show the witness a document. May I hand over this document to Mr. Sting? I'll show you. I'm not going. That's the letter that was written by Captain Teto to the TSU for the 205s.
Yes.
And with that letter, she mentioned the numbers that are listed there for the people that were in the house.
Yes.
From that letter, if needs be, I'll make copies for the court and for everyone. In that letter, the numbers that I gave you, the two numbers that I gave you for Kelly Khumalo, they also appear in that letter. Do you agree?
That's correct. The two numbers, that's correct.
And according to that letter, there were only 2 cell phones that Captain Tota mentioned of the cell phones that were taken from people that were in the house. He mentioned Tumelo, Madlala, Longwetwala, Thokozisi, Twala, Madlala, Zandi Khumalo, and I think the mother of Kelly Khumalo as well.
There's 8 numbers, 9 numbers.
9 numbers.
That's correct.
Including SENZO.
Including SENZO, that's correct. All right.
Yes, if you peruse that, the second page or the third page, I would say the attachment to those are the 205s, the extracts of the 205 for Kelly Khumalo, for both numbers, correct?
One page, my lord, I can't do anything on a one-page extraction.
No, I'm saying it's an extract. I've got the full 205.
I understand, but I don't have the 205 with me, my lord, so I can see, I can't do analysis on an extraction or even if I have the document, yes, maybe I can see what I can do,
No,
but
but
not on the extraction of 2 pages. It's
I
not a
wanted
full
to-
document.
We only have 1 page.
One page of one number and 1 page of the other number, my lord.
Okay.
the purpose was not to analyze those documents, was to confirm the contents of what was in the covering letter for Captain Nteto. That was the purpose, not to analyze. May I have that document back? The reason why I'm asking this question, Brigadier Kininda, the investigating officer, did not tell you that there was a 205 done on the in 2014 regarding people that were in the house. The relevance of this is based on the communication between accused number 3 and Kelly Khumalo. Now, I'm going back to my question. You analyzed, you saw that there is the numbers 072 766 8169 from the beginning of the first page. If you were not taken on cross-examination yesterday, this information would not have been before this honorable court.
Which information is this Mr. Mngomezulu referring to?
My lord, my colleague is not listening to me. He's not listening, but with due respect for the decorum of this court, I'll repeat. I referred you to Exhibit GG, where I asked you whether did you go through that Section 205 document data from page 1 up to the last page. You said yes.
That's correct, my lord.
And I asked you about, or I cross-examined you yesterday from page 10, 11, 12, and 13 about the records of cell phone 0727668169.
That's correct.
Simple. If I did not ask you about the transactions that are in those pages, this court might have not have knowledge of those transactions without being placed on records by you.
So, God, please, my Lord, we have presented that evidence. It's on record. How can now Mr. Mngomezulu says if he didn't ask, we are aware of those calls, and that's why we put them before court. And it cannot be us of this witness that if he did not cross-examine on that, the information would not have surfaced. But it's before court, and we place it before court.
My Lord, that's not true.
It's not true.
That's not true. Mr. Baloyi, you must be honest to this court. That's not true. I said, let's stand down that question, the first question I asked you, where you only dealt with 3 transactions on the 26th. That's what I asked you. I'll come back to that question after. I need to consult my notes. I misplaced my notes.
My Lord, sorry, there was 3 transactions. 2610, 14, 13, 49, 49. 2610, 2014, 15, 19, 32. And 2610, 18, 31. To accused 5, number 27723995787.
You see, Mr. Host, I listen and I write notes.
100%, my Lord. I was just looking at the other dates, 100%. I understand, my Lord.
Now, I just want us to get into the purpose of your evidence in this court as a data analyst. The main, or let me not put it as the main object or objective of your testimony in general terms as a data analyst. But what does it seek to achieve when you present such evidence in court as an expert?
My Lord, I was asked to see if there was communication between these 3 and other suspects, and that's what I did, to see if there was communication. That's all. That was my scope of my analysis. It's not something I made up. It was requested by me by the investigation.
Yes. So you've done as you were requested, and you gave evidence, and surely in your evidence you stated that there was a communication between accused number 3 and number 5.
That's correct.
One of amongst my colleagues, either Advocate Mngomezulu, Advocate Khumalo, or Advocate Mshololo, put it to you that accused number 3 and number 5 knew each other before the incident of the 24th of
100%, my Lord.
So is it your evidence today that the cell number of accused number 1, the 079-379-0137, cannot be linked with that own number, so with that number 072-766-8169?
For the period 23 October 2014 to 25 January 2015, that's the section 205 I have in front of me. For the other periods, I can't say, my Lord.
But I'll just put it as a fact to be proven that there was no accused number 1 and
Listen, Mngomezulu is a problem child, okay? He is such a problem that he has Advocate Baloyi on walking on pins and needles, okay? Advocate Baloyi is trying everything and anything to justify. He's even now bringing evidence that never happened. And you know what Mngomezulu says after Baloyi interjects? Mngomezulu says that is not true. Do you guys remember that sentence? Mshololo once said that to Baloyi. She said Baloyi is dishonest. Baloyi lost his cool. He stood up immediately. He told Mshololo that English is not your first language. You don't mean to say that about me. How dare you say that? I'll let it pass and say that it's because of English. Mngomezulu said, Mngomezulu actually laughed. And then he said, my lord, that's not true. Mr. Baloyi must be honest to this court. And Mngomezulu starts laughing. What did Baloyi do? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I cannot forget what he did to Mshololo. That's why I always bring it up, because he treated Mshololo less than. Mngomezulu has said even worse than what Mshololo said. Not only has Mngomezulu said even worse, he continues to define it, and then he laughs. And Baloyi does nothing. Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think it's because Mngomezulu is a man, okay, a beast at it, who can stand up for himself and defend himself, or that Mshololo was a female and he just went after her? He didn't even go after her. He went after her language of communication, which was thoroughly unfair, uncalled for, and unprofessional. Let me know in the comment section your thoughts on that. But at the end of it all, so after all this is just part one, guys. If I add the rest, it's just gonna be too long, so we'll do another video separately. But this is part one. Basically, all this, Mngomezulu took host down this long road for host to say yes. Accused number 1 and accused number 3 are not linked between October 2014 and January 2015 based on the 205s. Woo! Therefore, it throws out the case. It throws out the phone numbers. It makes number 3 not be there. If number 3 was not there, but they say he's the shooter, then there is no case and all of them are acquitted. Let me know in the comment section if you agree with that observation. But wow, Mngomezulu strikes again. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and do the things that make the channel grow. It makes us happy. Remember to share this video with 3 of the last people you chatted with on WhatsApp. And remember, this is all, let's not also forget that we are seeking a justice for SENZO MEYIWA, and it seems like Mngomezulu is bringing everything back on track. So leave a football emoji, a soccer emoji down below, okay, so that we recognize and honor SENZO MEYIWA, and hopefully one day, just one day, SENZO MEYIWA's family can have justice for their son. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you on my next upload.